So, tell me something terrible. So this will probably be where we naturally segue into a normal podcast introduction.
Great. Are we going to banter beforehand, or you just want me to segue right into the intro?
Our usual
Right into the intro, then?
half-ass banter.
Oh, that sounds great. Half-ass banter. That's what attracted me to you in the first place. I was like, oh, this guy. He's great at half-ass bantering.
Is that? I don't think that's a good thing, is it?
No.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Our bit rate's excellent. I don't know what that means. I'm so computery.
Yes, we are. Look at us millennials. We grew up on this nonsense.
All right.
All right.
Did you want to introduce ourselves? We've been live for 10, 11, 51.
Sure.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Scott.
And you're listening to Tell Me Something Terrible.
And watching Tell Me Something Terrible.
Yeah, you are.
Whoa.
I got to say it this time.
Yeah, you did.
Look at me go.
We're just breaking down all sorts of new walls here.
Yep. So, well, I guess the last one we did wasn't too terrible either, and this one's not going to be like hella terrible as well because I feel like the last few episodes have been like really sad and depressing, and so I thought I'd go lighthearted, but
death.
Still really horrible.
Shark death is usually considered pretty depressing.
All right. Well, I suppose this episode we can talk about beaver death instead.
What's wrong with you? You hate the world? Hate
There's
animals?
not a lot of beaver death. It can be acquired without killing the beaver.
Is that why we have vanilla flavored vodka?
It is.
Oh,
it is. I was saving.
We're just going to talk about beaver death?
No, we're going to talk about naturally made beaver puree instead of man-made beaver puree. Call back to the Rajneeshas.
What was that, like 10 episodes ago?
Oh, gosh. It was during Cultmas.
Yeah. So it's probably 5, 6, 7 episodes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, not too bad.
So,
all right.
Yeah, if you really want to learn about, the Rajneeshas, highly recommend going back to the Cultmas series.
Yeah.
So.
And good luck.
Yep. It was brutal. Which I realize now.
Most of them ended up being two-parters because there's just so much to go over.
Yeah, cults are a lot. So I also realized now, at the beginning of that, I mentioned like what they were doing, and you were like, "Oh, it'd be really funny if like afterwards, like what they're doing with the land for that cult because it was like bought outside of this town in was it Utah? Yeah,
I think it was Utah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So and then you were like riffing on what it is now, and I was like, "Wait, we'll get to it," and then we never got to it. So I'm going to tell you right now what it was.
What was it?
So after the land was sold and everything was shut down, it became a Christian camp that preaches abstinence.
Okay.
So it's literally the exact opposite of the sex cult.
Free love to no love.
None.
Yeah, that's quite the turn of events there.
Mm-hmm. I thought you'd enjoy that.
Well, I'm sure they got a good tax break for it.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure they all do.
I'm going in hard for a Cheez-It. Ow.
How is the Shugs? Is it doing okay?
It's 85.
It's not bad. Is it going up at least?
I don't know. It's kind of staying flat.
It is bad. So
Me eating Cheez-Its midstream is bad, but we'll power through.
Okay. So we're finally going to dive into beaver-made beaver puree in this episode. So you ready to get started?
I am.
Okay. We know, because we've made jokes about it, that beaver bum extract smells like vanilla, right? It tastes like vanilla. Yes. It's in our food. It's not in our food really anymore, so we're going to get into it. The Castor canadensis, say it.
Canadensis?
Yep. Castor canadensis.
Is that where castor oil comes from?
No, castor oil comes from a plant.
Oh.
Its own plant.
I thought maybe the root word here, I can talk, was the same.
No. Or the North American beaver. And actually, like,
okay.
Because it almost sounds like Canada, right?
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
Canadensis.
Yep.
And that's probably how you say it.
And also all other beavers, for that matter. Their diet consists primarily of leaves and bark, which is believed to give their castor glands that delicious aroma of vanilla paired with a hint of raspberry.
That's unique.
Yep. So that's what they think gives the smell to the oil that's produced in their glands. The castor glands are separate from the anal glands. They just are very close proximity to one another.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're neighbors.
Yep. So the castor sacs are located between the pelvis and the base of their tail.
The castor sacs?
Yep. The castor sacs.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that like a baritone sax, but just a little harder to hit?
So good news, though, it's not anal seepage. It's separate from their anal glands.
So you can't milk a beaver? Oh, you can. Great. That look was not reassuring at all.
So the oil is its own substance called castoreum. It's described as a sticky molasses consistency, ranging in color from yellow to brown to milky and gray.
There had to have been a marketing meeting where the people that harvested this needed to brand themselves as the Castoreum Emporium. It didn't happen, but it needed to happen.
Yeah, it did.
Because who doesn't love a good rhyme?
That's our new life goal. Is Castoreum
Emporium. Yeah.
We're going to make candles. We're going to sell beaver puree scented candles and then the leather and pain scented candles from like the Duber Hoober calls.
Okay.
Yep. That's our goals.
What if we just had little stuffed beavers that smelled of lavender?
It wouldn't be lavender, it'd be vanilla.
Or not lavender, vanilla.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
That sounds wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like we could have little beaver air fresheners for your car.
Ooh.
That smelled like vanilla.
That's a good idea.
Perfect. See, this is a marketing team meeting.
Well, yep. So the oil is used to help waterproof their coats, and it's also used to mark territories and their
sure
dams.
castor oil is not the same thing?
Yes, castor oil itself is poisonous. It comes from the castor seed. It comes from a specific plant. You can kill people with castor oil.
I don't want to know why you know that, but okay.
So anyway, each beaver family having a slightly different aromatic notes.
Oh, man. Our super fans are here.
Woo!
What's up, guys?
So each beaver family has a slightly different aromatic note, and since beavers have notoriously bad eyesight, this makes it easy to differentiate familiar beavers from rogue ones. So Joan Crawford, or maybe Joanne Crawford.
Isn't Joan Crawford famous? She's like an actress?
There's Cindy Crawford and Joan Rivers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beavers
So
live in
their
rivers.
baby.
Beavers live in rivers. That's out. Yep.
So their baby, Joan Crawford. She's a wildlife ecologist from Southern Illinois University. Illinois University. So her favorite thing to
She
do
loves being pet.
is telling people to get their nose right up, like down by the beaver's bum and give it a sniff. And so a lot of people think it's crazy and that she's nuts, but she's like, no, it smells really good because it's beaver butts and it smells like vanilla. She loves telling people to do that.
Wait, if you just pick up any random beaver and lift
It's
up
going
its
to
tail,
smell like
it's going to
vanilla.
smell like vanilla?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because of their diet. They think that that's why it makes the castoreum smell like vanilla. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like a musky vanilla, like an earthy.
You're
what it's
ruining
described
it.
as
No.
is a musky vanilla with a hint of raspberry. Yeah.
Like a streusel.
Yes, like a streusel.
Perfect.
So
Any chance to roll an R I get.
Yep.
Taking full advantage.
So according to Crawford, the process of obtaining such gooey goodness is difficult. The beaver has to be, quote, it has to be caught, anesthetized, and then the anal glands must be milked to extract the castoreum.
Okay.
So yes, you can milk a beaver. She says, quote, you can squirt the castoreum out. It's pretty gross.
Okay, so it's like that one time you pet the cat wrong, and it released its anal glands,
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like.
and it like ruined a shirt for you.
It ruined my whole life.
Yeah.
I almost threw my whole self out.
Yeah, I
It was-
laughed harder than I probably should have.
Because he's chunky, right? So he was walking along the edge of the couch, and I squeezed the tops of his chunky tie-ties and told him he had chunky tie-ties. Apparently he doesn't like that. An anal gland juice came and hit
Sauce.
my entire face.
Yeah.
My entire face.
Did it smell like vanilla?
No.
No, imagine that.
No, it smelled like,
Concentrated cat shit?
yes, it was awful. I can't even describe it. It hit my glasses, and it was in my hair and on my clothes, and I showered, and I felt like I could still smell it. It felt like it was stuck in my nostrils. It was awful.
Still,
yes.
Was it like 7 years ago?
Yes, it was so bad. So I don't suggest. Be very careful if you're going to grab your cat's bottom because he will squeeze anal juice at you. So if you were these are the live beavers. If you were able to find a dead beaver or like hunt it, because I don't actually know the current status of beavers or if they're like a huntable animal at all right now. They weren't. They almost were extinct.
I don't know. I feel like you probably get a beaver. Don't you trap beavers? I don't think you hunt them. I don't think you like walk around with a gun and shoot a beaver. I feel like you set a trap.
Them first. Yeah, I would imagine.
Kind of the way they do. What are those things that go in and out, like slide in and out? Muskrats. They like make slides on the edge of ponds. That's how you know where the muskrats are.
That's what we're calling him.
Yeah.
We're calling it now, a muskrat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they slide in and out. Do people hunt beaver? I don't know.
I would imagine because it was kind of a problem.
Make your own beaver hunting joke now.
I mean, yes, we do hunt beaver.
I don't want to get banned off of Twitch or something.
Bald beavers or sorry. So
as long as they smell like vanilla.
No. No, you should run far away if it does smell like vanilla.
Right.
So if you were able to find a dead beaver, if you managed to get your hands on it, the entire castor gland can be removed, and it's traditionally preserved by smoking it over a wood fire. So dried beaver castor sacs can easily be mistaken as dried testicles. That's what they look like. They're like the size of a hand. They look like a whole hand. There's two of them.
So not a beaver testicle. How big is a beaver? Beavers aren't that big.
Beavers are huge. Beavers are bigger than Leo. They're huge.
And their testicles are the size of a hand?
They come to like a man's knee. No, it's not testicles.
Okay.
It's the castor sac that gets confused. Not their sacs. Their castor sacs, once they're dried, can get mistaken for testicles. Okay. And so they're literally like, the pictures that I saw of it's like in man hands, not my little tiny baby hands, but man hands, are two like elongated, almost dehydrated looking balls, sacs.
Like that are the avocados?
small avocados, but yeah. And yeah,
I thought you meant that's what beaver testicles are. I'm like, do they just drag them around? No wonder they're always in the water.
They're in.
So then they at least float. They get a little reprieve. And dragging them through the land. They're like, I'm going to go float again.
That's actually how you find them. They leave a little scent trail with their castor balls.
Can you imagine if their balls were that big and they were floating? Every time they like paddled their tail, they'd smack their own balls. That'd be terrible.
That does sound terrible.
Just whap, whap, whap.
So, the handling after the removal of the castor glands is very important. Apparently, there's like a really thin membrane that protects the glands, and if you damage it during the process, it can lead to a loss of aromatic potency.
Gotta cup the glands.
Yes, they have to cup the glands, and this is all according to Apothecary's Garden, which is like a website that I found that gives you like the entire drying process, and then steps to creating different types of like DIY beaver bum inspired goodies, from like oil all the way to like dried and
just in case you happen upon some.
And in alcohol. Yeah, it's great.
Good.
So, based on archaeological evidence, beavers have been a staple in trade since about 5500 BC. And initially, they were hunted for their pelts, meat, and medicinal use of their intestines and the glands that people would use to create beaver oil, a.k.a. the castoreum.
Not castor oil. We've been over this.
Beaver oil. Beaver jerky. Yeah, it got eaten a lot by colonists, the beaver jerky. I don't know if jerky was in particular, but beaver definitely was eaten by colonists.
Well, I mean, for some reason I thought it was smaller.
No, they're huge.
Yeah, I always thought they were like raccoon size.
About maybe a little bit bigger than a raccoon.
Okay.
Yeah, raccoons are bigger than you think, too.
Yeah, I guess full-grown ones.
Yeah. Before the arrival of white man, the indigenous people known as the carriers used the beaver oil for medicinal purposes, and then around like circa like 77 BC, we find out we find the first written records of ailments that the beaver oils were used to treat, and eventually this was all recorded by some 12th century naturalist named Pliny the Elder.
Pliny? Mm-hmm. How do you spell Pliny?
Pliny.
Okay.
The Elder.
Just Pliny.
Yep. So he wrote it down in his...
Pliny the Elder.
Yes. Pliny the Elder wrote in his Naturalis Historia of the different uses of castoreum.
I feel like I should use that as a character name next time I create like a character or something.
Pliny the Elder. No one would get it.
No.
So those uses included inducing sneezing. Inducing sneezing. Reducing brain fever when it is combined with rose oil and rubbed all over the head.
Brain fever?
Mm-hmm. Look, that's what it said.
Huh. I wonder if that's like a head cold or like a headache.
No, it's not a headache because they mixed it with different things for headaches.
Brain fever.
Yeah, I think it's just a regular fever. And they just were like, oh, your brain's on fire.
You got a fever?
At least they weren't drilling holes in people's heads like they used to.
Yeah,
they'd be like, oh, we have to let out the pressure.
Yeah.
So it can be used to awaken someone from a coma or women who fainted from hysterics. It was also... What's wrong?
Just swooning. Woo!
Hysterics. My husband won't listen to me.
Could be the corset. I'm just saying.
It could be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was also used to treat a wide variety of ailments when mixed with various other ingredients like water, pennyroyal. Didn't look it up. Don't ask me.
Pennyroyal?
I don't know. I didn't look it up.
Like Royale?
Royal. It said pennyroyal. All one word. And Google didn't correct me, so it's a thing.
Cool.
Shallow dives here.
Yeah,
it can be mixed with honey wine, which is mead.
Delicious.
Yes. And
That'll be my next drink.
Mead? Just want to rub it in?
Yep. It's not gluten-free.
So it can be mixed with a roux, milk, vinegar, poppy juice, etc., etc. It's known to remedy headaches because castoreum contains salicylic acid. Do you know what salicylic acid is? Aspirin.
I know.
Oh, God, I hate you. It could also cure hiccups, vertigo.
I just got to give you some.
I hate you. So it would cure hiccups, vertigo, palsied tremors, cramps, sinew pains, sciatica, stomach troubles, toothaches, and paralysis and epilepsy.
It would cure paralysis?
Yes, it would cure it.
Well, look at it go.
Yeah. It's magical.
Magical butt juice.
So it could be used to, it could also be ingested to help with flatulence, griping, and poisons.
Griping?
Yeah, like your stomach.
Oh, not like just someone who bitches a lot?
Mm-hmm. A little beaver tail usually helps cure my headaches.
I wonder if you can get a beaver's tail like you do a rabbit's foot. Like, can you just get it like hang like on a keychain?
I would imagine. Oh.
But I bet you they're bigger than I think they are now. Because I would assume they were small, but they're probably like fucking this big.
I have a beaver pelt.
Beaver pelt, but not a beaver tail. No,
I don't know where it's at. I have a pet. So listen, guys, I was a redneck growing up, and my uncle side stories. My uncle shot a raccoon that was hanging out in an old shitty truck in the back of my grandma's yard, and they got it they got it taxidermied. They just had it furred and tanned.
That's not a beaver.
No, this is a raccoon. We're gonna get to it. And I was like 10. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I was feeling it. I'm like, it's so soft. And so my grandma was like, cool, she likes fur. I'm going to preface this, by the way, with the fact that I have Native American blood in my family. And so they're like super into all of this stuff. And so she gave me, Amy, oh no.
My dad does hate woodchucks. You're not wrong.
That was a comment in the thing.
Yeah.
In the chat. For those who are listening back.
When you listen to this, I want everything to be out of context.
I hope it's FOMO and everybody's like, we should do this again next time and actually watch them live.
Right.
And so they wound up accumulating fur. And I had a coyote fur, this little deer fur, and one of them was a beaver pelt. And it's very soft.
Don't you have it? I think it's still here somewhere.
The beaver pelt?
Yeah.
No, they're in a bag at my dad's house somewhere because we would have a whole stack of them, like a stack of furs like this thick. The coyote was like 5 foot long. It was nuts. And then again, redneck, we had a dog who liked to hunt moles, and he dug one out one day and killed it. And my grandma was like, let's try to tan it. And we did. And I have it still in that bag where we tanned the mole. Oh my God, you guys.
we grew up very differently.
Does that make you a furry?
Yes, it does. Not Well, no, I don't want to be guilt by association. She's not a furry.
No. Now my ears are really hot after talking about that
She
terrible
prefers
story.
fur enthusiast. It's more inclusive.
So yeah, that's a fun story about me growing up. And we moved back to this town. I'm really upset about it.
Yeah. It'll all start to make sense the more these stories come out. How we got here.
So now that we're fully sidetracked, let's get back on track. So it cures all those things. It could also be ingested to help with flatulence griping, which is like upset, like gas, like bloating,
That's how we got
stomach
here.
issues. Yes. And poisons. It can also help with scorpions and spider bites, bites from horned asps, which are snakes,
Yep.
and mistletoe poisoning.
I didn't realize mistletoe is poisonous.
Me neither. Didn't know it until now.
That's a fun Christmas tradition we got going.
Yep. And it
Let's
could be.
hang poison over our lovers. It's normal.
It is. Just ask every lover pre like 1920. So it could also be mixed with poppy juice and poured into the ears for earaches.
That's what we're calling Sprite from now on, by the way.
Poppy juice. This is our poppy juice.
It's not soda. It's poppy juice.
And then beaver urine was also thought to be an antidote for poisons and was preserved in milk. It was also a featured ingredient in the ancient Roman elixir called Caesar's or Kaiser, if you're
A hard
John.
C.
Yeah.
He's like, there's no soft C's in Rome. Yeah.
So
his name would have been Kaiser.
Kaiser's antidote, which helps ease menstrual pains, and this is where the women use comes in, and it was claimed to induce abortions.
Induce?
Induce.
Okay.
Yeah. Like start. Like, here,
We
take
should have made a
this.
list of what it didn't help treat.
So it wasn't compared to vanilla until after the 1520s, when Europe was finally introduced to the vanilla orchid that Hernan Cortez brought over from the Aztecs. So Europe, the UK and stuff, didn't have vanilla. They didn't know what it was. And so it was one of the many spices that was brought back. So they
Shocking.
just knew that that it smelled good. They were like, oh, this smells delicious. And then someone brought a plant back and was like, oh my God, this smells exactly the same.
I've heard the UK is really known for their exquisite flavors and a lot of seasonings. So when you say they don't have vanilla, I mean, think of the tea. Think of all the tea.
They conquered a whole world. Like, literally, it was for spices. Like, that was what they were doing. They went to India. That's why the United States exists, because they wanted to try to find a way to get to India faster so they could increase their trade, and literally bumped into this whole other half of the world.
Get that turmeric train going.
Yeah.
I don't know if I said that right.
Turmeric?
I said turmeric.
Close enough.
Where's the R? Is it before the M?
Turmeric. It's after it. It's Tumeric. So it wasn't compared to vanilla, like I said, until after the 1520s. So most white people just liked the smell of the beaver butt juice, but before they even knew what vanilla was. But there is a chance.
Smell this ass.
So there is a chance that indigenous people.
It's like when people make you smell their babies. Have you smelled newborn babies? Smell it.
Newborn babies smell really good.
Smell this ass.
But it's they're genetic, like they're like not genetically, like evolutionally, we're designed to like the smell of babies, so that we
And
can
beaver
smell them.
ass. What's up with that?
And beaver butt. Yep. But there is a chance that indigenous people did put two and two together, because if you look at if you look at maps, they actually have they show where beavers lived and where the vanilla orchid grew, and they kind of they overlap.
Intermingle
so they're
a
like,
little
oh, there is a chance that people that were exposed to both put two and two together and this beaver smells like this plant.
I didn't realize vanilla was an orchid, like the plant.
I suppose I didn't either.
Where
until
the
writing
pod
this.
comes from.
Yeah. The more you know. Michigan has an orchid.
I know.
It's the lady slipper. We know where some grow, and we're not telling any of you, because I'm pretty sure that Russian would kill us.
Yeah. From our mushroom
Excursion. So as a flavor additive.
Yeah, no more vanilla extract. It is beaver butt wannabe juice.
Yes.
Yep.
So as a flavor additive, Castoreum wasn't used until the early 20th century. So at this point, it was literally just used for medicinal purposes.
Yeah, head fever.
Yes. And perfume.
Okay.
Which we'll get to. So as a flavor additive, Castoreum wasn't used until the early 20th century. The food industry turned to the perfume industry to look for better flavoring agents because it's cheaper to use artificial vanilla than it is to use real vanilla, and it tasted too fake. So they were like, we need something that can improve,
round it off a little bit.
The flavor of the artificial vanilla. And Castoreum was just what they were looking for. It was never used as a direct replacement for vanilla flavoring, but to give it a better, like more of a kick.
A depth.
Yes, to give the impression that it was real vanilla and not just a chemical. And because it's naturally derived...
the good old days when they didn't want it to taste like a chemical.
So because Castoreum is naturally derived, the FDA allows Castoreum to be listed as natural flavoring on an ingredient label if it is used as a flavoring agent. So word got around that beavers make delicious tasting and smelling butt juice, so it also became staple in the cigarette industry as well.
What?
Yes. So Castoreum was used to
I did not
dust...
think we were going to go there.
Yeah. Castoreum was used to dust tobacco to give it a more luxurious flavor. And that's why tobacco has like a vanilla hint to it, because that's added to it.
Okay, so not like chewing tobacco. You're talking like
No,
cigarettes?
all of it. Chewing, all of it.
Huh.
Every single aspect of it. Because 8 pounds of Castoreum could flavor 400 billion cigarettes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. A little bit goes a long way.
Okay, so they're not like going to go extinct solely because of the
Because of the
cigarette.
Castoreum.
Yeah.
No. There's lots of other things we need to worry about with the cigarette the cigarette
I feel
industry.
like if you get like a candle that's tobacco, it's always tobacco and like vanilla.
And that's
why?
why.
Yeah.
It really rounds it out and gives it like a smoother, more luxurious taste.
Full-bodied.
Yep. So the tiny amount of Castoreum needed to get the job done didn't stop beavers from being hunted to near extinction. During the Middle Ages, beavers truly were hunted across all of Europe to extinction. So when white people made it over here, they were super pumped. And when they made it, and they were like, "Oh my gosh, look at all these beavers here!" And so the demand for beaver pelt and meat and Castoreum skyrocketed again once the North America was discovered. And they were also...
Did Native Americans use beavers?
Yeah.
For this, or did they not?
Yeah, no, they did use it for medicinal uses, but it wasn't like this extensive,
They didn't
and
put
it
it in
wasn't
their-
used for food or anything. It was literally just medicine.
They didn't like put it in their muffins? Shocking.
Yep. And so the beavers were yet again hunted until the near extinction. And then in 1894, a representative of the Hudson Bay Company, so like Canada, like up here, like Hudson, like this actual region, Hudson Bay. Okay.
Give me all the geography.
Yep.
I know where Canada is.
Yep. In regards to the rapidly shrinking beaver population, he said, quote, "The beaver's days are numbered. He cannot coexist with civilization." Okay. And this is a representative of the company that literally did fur trading. Fun, huh? The nail in the Castoreum's coffin as a food additive was kosher law. So Castoreum can't be certified as a kosher ingredient.
Okay.
So it wound up reducing its uses quite a bit. And so then it reduced the demand, and so people were no longer killing
vegan
beavers.
either. So.
No, yeah, exactly.
Nowadays.
So it's still considered...
I bet you more people are vegan than are kosher. Granted, we also live in like the least Jewish densely populated area in the world, I'm pretty sure.
You say that, but we also like don't actually know anybody who's Jewish. I really don't think I do.
Yeah, I know people with like Jewish descent, but they're not actively Jewish.
Yeah. There are still products that you can purchase that tout the use of Castoreum, like whiskey that's made by a place called Tamworth Distilling in New Hampshire. And it's a whiskey. It's called A du Musk.
You didn't order us some?
No, I should have.
Vicks didn't have it?
Doubtful. This is way too bougie for Vicks. So now Castoreum is mainly used in the perfume industry, but in like your more expensive perfumes. And it this has only been exclusively used like in the perfume industry for the most part for the last like 80 years. So
what was the company? Hudson. No, right. What was the company that made the
Tamworth Distilling?
All right, I'm going to get us a price. I'm going to say $70.
So Castoreum hasn't really been used a lot in food over the last 80 years. So when people are freaking out about vanilla extract being like from beaver butts, it really hasn't been prominent in the last 80 years, so it's okay.
Beaver butts. What was it called? Eau de Musk. There it is.
Yeah, did you find it?
I did find it. It's 88 proof. Where to buy? Oh, Eau de Musk, $65.
That's not that. I mean,
This
it's not as expensive as I thought it was going to be.
$250.
Jesus H Christ. So it's mainly used in the perfume industry, but in your more expensive perfumes, like I said,
But-
it's been over 80 years since we've really
Shit.
heavily used it in the food industry. So don't worry, most of your vanilla flavor stuff is still fake, not beaver butt. So its purpose.
Wait, is my Aldi's vanilla extract not beaver butt?
No. I'm
So disappointed.
sorry. So the purpose of Castoreum in perfume is that it's a fixative, which increases the staying power of fragrance and then also increases the overall good, pleasant smells. So there's about 300 pounds of Castoreum harvested and used each year.
340 pounds?
300 pounds. Slightly less than about 300 pounds a year.
8
is
pounds
harvested.
of which go to the cigarette industry?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if it's still actively going to the cigarette industry, but I would assume so.
Can you raise domesticated beavers and milk them?
I don't know.
Because that would be the most adorable place to work in the world.
Wouldn't it? Just squeezing the bums of beavers and it just smells delicious instead of like concentrated cat poop.
More likely, like once a year, you just knock them all the fuck out and then take a syringe and suck it all out of them. But yeah, you can think you're milking them and it's all cute and they're frolicking in the flowers.
No, you do have to anesthetize them because they're not fans of getting their butts squeezed.
Way to use your big words. Knock them out wasn't good enough for you?
Nope.
Anesthetize them.
So Castoreum is not the only gross animal thing that we use in our food and smelly things. In perfume, we also use things called musk pods, which is the pituitary glands.
Come through.
Yep. Look at
Don't
you and
ask me
your
to spell it.
you and your big words.
Pituitary.
Gland sac, which is under the the abdomen, like inside under the skin in the abdomen of a male musk deer.
Okay.
So musk pods.
Not a muskrat. Mm-mm. I was hoping you'd say
We're gonna
muskrat.
not a muskrat, a mongoose. So
they start with an M.
Yep.
No, it's not the same thing.
and they're both animals. I went to college.
So that's how that works.
So ambergris, which is lumps of oxidized fatty compounds secreted by the head of sperm whales. It's allegedly one of the few animal products that's still used because it can be harvested humanely from the whales. Secreted. Yeah, they have like a thing on their head that they just
ooze liquid out of?
Liquid out of it that smells good. And we use it in perfume still today.
Okay. Just some sperm whale.
I don't know what it smells like.
Sperm whale seepage.
Mm-hmm. Sperm whale seepage.
Okay.
Yep.
There's no jokes to be made, everyone. Just move along.
Yep. And so then we can use civet, which is like a kind of cat. Nope, this is the mongoose thing. It's obtained from the odorous sacs of civets, which is a member of the mongoose family.
I have no idea what a civet is, but okay.
It's some weird looking mongoose cat thing. And then you use musk, which is derived from a gland located between the genitals and umbilicus, which I think is like a belly button.
It is.
Of the Himalayan male musk deer.
Okay.
So that's what's in our perfumes. Like the expensive ones that aren't like fake.
Not Adidas Moves. Mm-mm. That's the OG.
Yeah, it is. I used to have the female Adidas Moves. My mom and dad, I got it for Christmas.
I remember
like
that's all
kit.
the middle school locker room smelled like when you first had to start taking gym class. It just...
Before Axe came out. And then most of the stuff that I saw for food was like hella clickbaity. Like you saw a lot of stuff that was like, viruses in your food, and it's like, no, fuck off, it's a bacteriophage. Like, I'd rather have a bacteriophage that's literally only there to kill bacteria than like die of salmonella poisoning. Like, guys, calm the fuck down.
Go either way.
Like 2% of like looking into what a bacteriophage is. Instead they're like, viruses are in your food. Like, yeah, this virus is for bacteria, not us. And like you saw a lot of stuff that was like, you also have
was
like...
this out of the mongoose ass? Or sack?
No.
Okay.
This is like, so I was trying to find other gross things that were in food, and a lot of them were like viruses and like saltwater injections and all these things. Like somebody, like one of them was like, propylene glycol is in antifreeze. Yeah, water's in antifreeze too. You need a preservative, otherwise you're gonna die from like mold. Like, I can't. So a lot of this stuff was a lot of clickbaity bullshit, but I did find some interesting things. like gelatin, which, in case you didn't know, I'm assuming is, but I'm an asshole.
It's not vegan.
No, it's not. Because general knowledge about gelatin is that it's made from boiled animal skin and cartilage. So if you didn't know, now you know.
The more you know.
Yep. And then carmine, which is a common bright red color additive, is made from crushing up the carcasses of an insect called a cochineal.
A what?
A cochineal?
Cochineal?
Cochineal? I don't know. It's a tiny little bug.
Cochineal?
And they make shell, and you crush up the shells.
Okay.
They're from South and Central America, and it makes red.
Crush up the cochineal, and you'll get red.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
And then also like fish bladders, traditionally from sturgeons here in the Great Lakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is this where purple comes from?
No, this is now they use them from other fish, but this is to help
Isn't dried
filter.
fish where the color purple used to come from?
Yes, like rotten
Like
fish,
petrified fish?
Yeah,
That's why
no, it wasn't. It was rotten fish.
Oh yeah, that's why rich people had it or whatever.
Yeah, because it was really hard to make purple.
See, I know some things.
The
Also, this
fish
is just
bladders.
straight vanilla vodka at this point.
Oh.
The little bit I diluted it down is just gone.
So,
Still good, but very much vodka.
we need to she said you can refill it and
Yeah, so this
reinfuse
is
it.
like the thing we got. It's just like 6 vanilla beans, and then you put vodka in it, and they seal it for 2 months. And it comes
It's not
out.
actually vanilla beans. It's just sliced beaver tail.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what we need.
Yep. Sliced beaver tail.
Yep.
Fried up real nice. So fish bladders, going back to the whole point of this, fish bladders are used to help filter like wine and Guinness to make it clearer and remove like any particles in it. So those are some fun, gross things I found out.
Fish bladders are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I learned from like listening to Wine and Crime that you have to be really careful. You have to be people that are truly vegan, like especially for the moral reasons behind it. You have to find wine that's marked vegan because a lot of them are ran through fish bladder.
Huh.
Or like an animal type skin to
Purify?
yeah.
I would not have guessed that.
Yep.
Like, it's wine. Of course it's
I know
vegan.
I know a lot of useless shit that doesn't matter.
You do.
Yep. So that's what I wrote down.
Did you want to hammer out the sources real quick? So for the audio version of this, we can wrap it up easier.
Sure. So I used National Geographic article, Beaver Butt's Emmet Goo used for vanilla flavoring, mentalfloss.com article, A Brief History of Castoreum, some random ass website that I hope was legit because he seemed like a really good historian. This might be one of the sketchiest sources that I've used, and I used some really sketchy sources when we did the new what was the prison? New metal's the only thing that can come to my mind, but that's not right.
The prison?
The prison. Newgate. The Newgate prison.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's decezoencerbator.nl. Our computer might have a virus. No,
Did you do that
nothing
on
popped
here?
up.
Come
It didn't
on.
pop up with the little like security thing, and the guy, he seemed really legit. He had like sources down at the bottom and stuff, and
So he's Wikipedia.
yeah.
Okay.
And so the name of that article was Question, Who Discovered a Beaver's Anal Glands Taste Like Vanilla? And then I used an article from thetakeout.com, What is Castoreum and Why is it in my food? And then MSN.com, You eat these disgusting ingredients every day without knowing it. And then I used Apothecary's Garden and Wikipedia.
Nice.
Those are my sources.
It took one weirdo to find that out. Happy accident. So I was eating this beaver's ass the other day, and I swear to God, it tastes like fucking vanilla. I don't know why he's from Boston, but that's just where he's from.
Yep.
I knew I was going to swear, so I just thought I'd lay it on.
That's,
I mean, it was New Englandy at
yeah,
the time.
and that's kind of where the beavers are at. Like,
That was a nice palate cleanser from all the sharks dying the last 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Those have been pretty fucking
I mean,
depressing.
beavers were also hunted to near
Definitely sound like a
extinction.
beaver. Thank you. That's what I was going for.
A beaver.
It was like backwoodsy New England.
Yeah.
Like a guy that you wouldn't trust, like he's missing at least 4 teeth, but he's like
But like back teeth, so you can't really tell.
a palate cleanser. Yeah. The way vanilla does, between courses.
They use coffee to cleanse palates, so why not
Do they?
beaver ass?
I always thought they used like white grapes or green grapes. I don't know why that's like
Green grapes
I don't know why that's like the
horrible.
first thing on the front of my mind. I'm probably making that shit up hardcore.
I could also be making up the coffee thing, but I think the coffee you use when you're smelling stuff and it like clears your like sense of smell instead.
Isn't there a monkey or something that makes tasty poo too?
Is there?
There's
There's an animal that eats coffee beans and then they make coffee from it.
Yeah, the shit coffee.
Uh-huh.
Is that a monkey?
No, I don't think it's a monkey. It's not a bird, but it is a four-legged thing with fur. That's about as much information as I can get you.
Kookaburra.
This is not a kookaburra. No, a kookaburra is a bird.
It's a forest rodent. Oh, so it might be a kookaburra.
Oh, okay. Hold on. It's not a kookaburras are birds.
Or what's not chupacabra?
Yes, it's actually a chupacabra.
what's the
a cryptid eats my coffee.
What's the big fucking rodent thing?
A capybara?
Capybara. See, I was close. Chupacabra, capybara, whatever. That's pretty much it.
One's just a big lumpy rat with hoofs, and the other one eats roosters.
Yeah, like decapitates your chicken. Chupacabra tastes scary. Yeah. It's like that Death Wish coffee, except it's just got a chicken like missing a head on the label. Exactly.
It's a very dark roast coffee.
Yes.
Oh, okay, now I have to find out what the animal
that shits coffee beans.
Animal that eats coffee beans.
Coffee beans. There you go. What's the?
It is.
What is it?
It's a civet.
A civet. Oh, that's you talked about that earlier.
It's a civet. Captive civets are sometimes fed only coffee. It's a mongoose family like type thing. Captive civets are sometimes fed only coffee cherries, the fruit that produces coffee beans. Oh, that's really sad.
That's
so it's
all
an Asian, captive ones, like specifically.
So their whole life is just here, eat a cherry, and then we're gonna pick your shit up.
It's kopi luwak is made from coffee beans plucked from a civet's feces. This is bad news for civets. Yep, I would say so. Cat-like creature. Yeah.
We need to.
But that's related to the mongoose.
We need to start a movement for civet rights. No.
Instead of civil rights.
Thank you.
God, I hate you.
Thank you. It's like past 10 o'clock. You know the jokes have a steep drop off once 10 o'clock gets
They
here.
really do. Oof, that was terrible. Thanks for listening to our terrible podcast. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, or wherever you like to listen. Feel free to follow us on Twitter at TMST Pod.
And if you'd like to support the show, you can find us on Patreon at Tell Me Something Terrible.